All right, everybody, Hefe here. We are going to get started tonight. Talked about this a little bit on the Hanging with Hefe Discord. I had a few conversations with a number of people just to go through some of the results. I've been trolling the various Discord channels, trying to just figure out, what do we do now that we got this meeting done with Evony? What's the next steps? Well, some of it's just a waiting game, right? But, what I got to thinking about was, why are we waiting around? Why don't we talk a little bit about what it is you guys would like to see done? Just with the responses that Evony was giving us. Granted, we went in with these 6 overarching ideas or plans, and, I wanted to go over where we're at with those, based on the, wow, burping here. Where we're at with the post call and the coin strike Discord and the leadership group there. Put together a list of, basically the things that the outcomes from the meeting. So wanted to take us through those right away, just kind of level set where we're at. And then also I'll give you a little bit of what I'm thinking. And then I think, I'm going to open it up to those that want to join in the Discord. Hop on the voice. Let's chat about, what your ideas are and how you want to see things change. So let's take a look right now here. Let's see. I don't know how big that is on screen for you guys. Let's see here if I can. Well, I don't know how big that is for you guys, but just a quick summary. And you can see this on the Discord, the CoinStrike Discord. There's a good list of these there. That's where I drew it from, as well as out on our Discord. So, some of the feedback that Evony gave us and some of the results or things we heard back from each of the quote unquote demands that were given. They're what they're saying now is they're actually going to provide an official sub. They called it a family system at one point. Basically, your alts. How are they going to allow alts to be used? They said they're going to allow it. 3 to 5 was kind of the numbers thrown out by the team. Again, who knows what they're thinking? They said yes, they want to do this. They're going to allow it. We also asked if they would, stop banning in the meantime until they rolled this out. Didn't get a response from that, but that was one of the main things that came out of there. They also are saying, number 2 here, they're also saying they're going to retrieve, roll back the accounts that were banned as of August, was kind of the date. Of course, we'd like all alts back ever, but, at this point, I think we'd be satisfied with, some of the recent ones that were taken, as well as putting in a system that will allow alts going forward. I don't really want to go into all the alts and why the alts and should we allow alts and all that stuff. We can debate that a lot. I kind of want to focus a little bit on this first one, that system. How are they going to actually implement this system? What do you want to see done? I do think it does involve alts. Obviously it involves alts, but I do think that alts are going to be important going forward. And I do think that just based on the state of the game, based on how they've implemented the new requirements, all the things that they've got implemented now, alts are almost required. I think I read somewhere in one of the Discords, and I 100% agree with it. People don't coin for resources. They coin for buffs, right? So resources, if you're pushing for that K40 keep, you're pushing for T15s to open up, or you're pushing for K45, or even maybe 42 or 43. If you're pushing to get more resources, you're not caking for those resources. You're probably trying to get some resources on your own through alts. You're doing all the events, you're doing consuming, you're doing all the things you can do to try to get, you're also buying things. Obviously, you're getting resources from purchases, but it's really not effective way to do it, especially, and that's really evident if you're at all closer, getting to the point where you're trying to get K45 open. It's just insane. So this new system, I think, has to kind of encompass that idea of alts. We can also talk about alternatives that potentially, maybe if you don't want alts, you don't agree with alts in your Evony, how are you going to modify the system or the current requirements, the things that you're getting from events, all those things they're going to play into getting us more resources, scaling bosses, all those things we'll talk about tonight. And just to finish up here, Battlefield experience, I think they gave some feedback that they want to do a split, some sort of a split between actual gameplay going on one server. Some people, I think, got a little confused that, they're going to migrate people to a new server and we're going to start up the Battlefield and it's going to have its own server. And I think that got taken a little too literally. I think it's more of a virtualized. They're gonna run some of the processes that do all the tabulation, do the report creation, potentially do the scoring, do the the wounded, all that calculation that's going on while we're trying to make our hits, while we're trying to bring marches back that are getting stuck. How are they gonna change that framework so that we're not impacted on the front end by the lag? So I think they've heard us. Again, we've heard that in the past. Has lag improved since day one? Absolutely. Is it at the point where everything's playable? No. They need to improve it, clearly. So apparently, according to them, they've got a system that they're going to be implementing that should help that one a lot. So we're hoping to see that, get some more information on that in the next call. And then number 4 here, they're considering the monthly call. I think that's a real necessity. In the past, we kind of waited for Evony to come back to us with information. We got a few things added. We got a new pack, a new event showed up, Huns showed up. Bosses started being permanent like Cerebrus is. We got Yimmers, we got Pans. We did get a bunch of changes since the last call. But I do think this time, knowing what we know now and how things have gone, I think it is really important that we stick to a monthly call and get feedback in real time as opposed to waiting for a year. So real happy to hear that, they're at least interested in doing that. We'll see if they set one up, but we're looking forward to that as a monthly call. And then number 5, they are going to follow up in the next 2 weeks, is what they had told us, to give us more information on the demands and what we're really discussed. I think they had Simon there kind of giving his feedback and relaying it to the team. He was obviously in a conference room with a number of folks getting guidance on how he should answer certain questions, and that's just how these things work. He was kind of the one that had to be in front of us to deal with us, and give him a lot of credit. He did his best with what he had. He can't promise everything. He doesn't know all the things either, so he obviously needs to go back and set up a set of meetings to try to get the information understood on their end, and then come back with some solutions. And then the other big one was customer service, handling of tickets. And basically, he gave a story about, it's such a big game, it's so complex, they're trying to improve it, they've got a lot of new people, they do get a lot of turnover, all these sort of excuses in somewhat, but also, there's some reality to that. It is a complex game. You'd expect at this point they'd at least have a large group of people that could actually help out in some cases. But honestly, I think they need to look at not only training, but some sort of an escalation system where if they don't know, if they don't understand the questions and the tickets coming in, they really need to escalate those and have a process that, you as a customer can actually talk with someone that understands what you're asking them. As opposed to in many cases, we get back mails that just make completely no sense. So anyway, that's another one that they're going to be working on. So as I said, though, I think that the main thing here I want to focus on is what I'm calling the family system. And I think they'd mentioned that, or somebody talked about family accounts or alts. And there's 3 main questions I think we got to ask ourselves. Why are alts needed? Who benefits from alts? And then how would you solve it? What are the things that you would see doing? And what are the you got to kind of put your Evony hat on too as well. You can't, ask for, I would like all my alts to all their resources to come over to my keep whenever they get them. I would like nobody else to be able to hit them. I'd like them to be protected. I'd like them to join all rallies. I'd like them to farm when they're not joining rallies. You got to be realistic about what it is they want to implement, and considering the economy that we've got, how implementing a new system might affect that. So, I think they have to be thoughtful. We have to be thoughtful. We can't ask for the world and expect to get it. I think we do definitely want to ask for everything we want. But at the same time, I think you got to be a little realistic about this. So hopefully, they'll come back with a nice system. But, as we've seen in the past, they just typically don't implement the things exactly the way we want to. So I see nobody's joining my call. I swear to God, you guys you're afraid to come on the call. I mean, I promise I won't yell at you. So why are alts needed? I talked to this a little bit in the beginning. The scale that they've implemented since K45 got released, the scale of resources needed, and I even think a little bit, as I mentioned, as part of K40 to get T15s open, it is just huge. The amount of resources that are needed to be able to do the things that we need to do and progress and make legitimate progress in the game. And this isn't talking about tax scrolls and all the other buffs and all those other things. I just want to solely focus today a little bit on this alt idea. What's the system look like? So in my opinion, alts is a way to solve that problem. Now you could say, well, let's just double the amount of resources, or let's add more bosses, or, let's put some bigger tiles on the map, or maybe double the speed that I can farm tiles. There's all sorts of ideas, but I really want to focus on this alt idea because they've kind of put it out there as a big solution, a new change. It goes along with unbanning of the alts and then also assigning those to folks. So the basic idea would be each player would be able to have 3 to 5, I think is the number. Let's just say five alts that you're able to use, and you're able to plunder those alts. You're able to transfer resources from those alts to your main account, provided you're the quote unquote master, right? It's not to say that, what they don't want to do is set something up that helps those resource sellers, right? So I'm not running all these alts, these 5 alts that I own, and then I'm able to send them over to my friends and sell them those resources for real money on the side. They want to find a way not to allow that, right? So, I can think of a lot of things that they can do to protect those resources on those alts differently. They could, you could be able to just shift those resources on those accounts into a special status of these are for the main family member, or the king or the queen of the family here. So this would be a way that they could actually designate, much like they do for safe resources, but you as a user could do that. Also, why do we have to actually send a cart of, say, 10 million resources? Why can't I just send the whole lot over in one cart, right? And even if you wanted to do that and put on a, why would we have to have a tax for that, right? You did that work. They're now your family members, and maybe you have a bigger tax if you want to send them to others. Maybe we could actually help out teammates because we want to be able to do that. Or maybe you increase the tax from the main to send it out to other people to share those resources. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that they could do that would help your alliance and not only just help the individual. So I think that's one thing to look at. Why do we need those alts? And I think it's obvious we need more resources in the game. Who benefits from these alts? Now, obviously, you get benefit as the family leader in this case. But honestly, those folks that maybe don't have the ability to have a computer, run BlueStacks or Memu, and set up additional alts and have those things farming, have them joining, using the auto join feature, all those things that they could be doing. A lot of people don't maybe have that ability. And I think that we did have a lot of representation from a lot of power gamers, a lot of people that do and are affected by that. I think that's why we had some of those demands as they were. But I also think that those are the folks that are actually putting in a lot of the time. They're the ones that are in need and see the real need for this ability to infuse more resources into the game. And frankly, those folks that are growing still, they may not have gotten to the point where they're just stuck. They may not have gotten to K40. They may not have tried to open up Siege T15 Siege or Arch T15s or even the Ground or Cavs. I mean, it's just, you may not feel it right now, but you will feel it eventually as you grow. And who's to say it's not going to help everyone? If your teammates are growing, they're able to run bigger bosses. They're able to make higher level mounted troops to run bosses. They're going to be helping all those people in their alliance. So to say that it just helps people that are have the alts, have the ability to run the alts, I think is a little bit naive. I think we do already live in an environment that we're impacted by the big players and the small players all the time. So it's not like I said, you may get some direct impact to just those big players and those ones that are able to do it, but you're not actually, you're part of that whole economy, if you will, or that whole system of people that are playing together. So I think it's a little naive to say it's just helping one individual or those that have the ability to run alts. Now, that said, you also have the ability to switch accounts on one device, and I think a lot of us used to do this before the advent of starting to run things over on Memu or on BlueStacks. You could run multiple accounts on your phone or additional devices. So it's not to say you still couldn't do that. I mean, you could create alts and switch accounts, send out farms, keep them bubbled, and manage them through one device. It's very possible. A lot of people do it. And even those folks were impacted by getting alts taken and banned. So, I don't think this system just implemented on its face helps only those mega coiners and those mega gamers. So I do think there's a real benefit for everyone else. So, I think that argument, if you will, that it's only helping a small group is really kind of naive. I'm going to read my chat here a little bit because nobody wants to join. Yeah, Sus says, alts make us feel happy that we're progressing and making Evony money for coining, for new buffs, stamina, and gems maintenance on farms. There's a middle ground that can be found. Yeah, I totally agree. I think, like I said, buffs are purchased. Alts are providing resources. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's how it works. And if you're not at the point where you need that amount of resources at one given time, you just haven't gotten there yet. I'm telling you, it's coming at some point, and I know it's all relative to where you are, but I'm sure even those smaller players have a need for additional resources and ways to do it. Yeah, Mime should be here. He said he's probably sleeping. I did start a little early, so I'm sure he's waking up and he's gonna join and he'll go, hello. Mako's right. I don't miss the days of flopping over on your phone, pulling up that other account, sending out farms 4 or 5 times a day. And it might not even be an alt. It might be helping your friend do some do some farming as well, or getting their bubbles on or whatever. But yeah, I don't miss that. Being able to log in now that I have accounts on multiple servers, I'm constantly monitoring things, making sure I got bubbles and other things on other servers. So definitely it is an advantage, I think, using computers and using the emulators to get those things done. It's much easier. But let's talk about how would you do this system. What are the things as Evony do you want to think of, or do they need to think of that that they want to stop from happening? Granted, they want to stop any cheats that are literally changing the code, inserting resources into the code so that they're basically illegally getting resources on accounts or alts. That's obviously not really within the family system, but I do think it would minimize the need for that, those resource sellers would be not needed as much because I think more people would actually, take the time to maybe create a secondary account and do some farming. Because I think right now there's so much risk.
Hi, Hefe.
Hello, hello. How are you? You here to save me? Hello? Oh, you can't hear me. Sorry. I had to unmute my Discord. I'm talking to you, but you couldn't hear me.
I can hear you now.
Sorry about that. So I appreciate you joining in. Somebody had to save me. Otherwise, we were going to have to listen to me for hours and hours and hours drone on about absolutely nothing. So how are you doing?
I'm good. Your voice is great, so I'm sure a lot of us are fine just listening to you talk.
I'm lulling you to sleep. Is that what you're saying?
No, you have a great voice. You have a great voice.
Okay, all right. Well, good.
I didn't want you to be by yourself, so I thought I'd jump on with you.
Jake's here now. Now we're not lonely. It's a threesome. Let's do it.
What's up, Hefe?
How's it going, buddy?
Perfect.
Hi, Logan.
So Logan is actually Cleopatra in disguise. So 191, isn't that right? So
190.
190, yeah, sorry. Well, I was trying to, make him not know where you really were, so but okay, she's on 190.
Oh, I'm 191.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Somebody else joined. We got Blaze has joined. She is on mute. That's okay. Somebody else is on mute. You guys are welcome to stay here in the Discord or listen on the channel either way. But
sure.
So were you guys listening to my initial drivel here and information, or what? Where did you guys pick up the call?
I heard at the start. I was here from the start.
Okay. What'd you think? Any thoughts? Initial thoughts?
I mean, they should just stop caring about. I feel like the reason they're going so hard on alts is because of resource selling.
Mm-hmm.
They have the ability to lower packages, like those specific packages where you buy only resources.
Mm-hmm.
They could lower the price of those or add in more resources to be competitive with the standard $2 a bill, like pricing.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly like a middle ground that they can get, whether it's like changing the name of an alt or, some weird setup where you attach it to your main or whatever.
Yeah. So in existing packs, we could basically, we could continue on with the same system they've got now, but somehow increase the overall resources that are in packs. I mean, I think that's an obvious easy fix they could do.
Yeah. If you had a similar, so if you could buy a package for the same rate for resources as compared to a seller,
sure.
I feel like most people would do that because you also get the benefit of going towards your King's Cake or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A historic sub or, all the other trinkets that come along with it. Your buffs. Basically, you're working on your buffs and the resources at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. So do you think they shouldn't allow alts then? Do you think that's not a need that we should allow alts?
No, because we don't live in a perfect world, so we are going to need alts because they're not going to implement a perfect system.
Okay.
Or, hi, I'm LT.
Hello.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. No.
Awesome. Welcome. Go ahead.
Hi, LT.
Hey, Cleo.
Yeah, we're on the same server.
Yeah, we're on the same server.
Awesome.
And we play nice together.
Oh.
And we play nice together.
That doesn't always happen on every server, so it's good to hear.
I know, right? Okay. So one of my ideas is, of course, this is a business. Of course, they're looking to make money.
Mhm.
But what really could affect and help, especially like those mid-coiners, low coiners, establishing a farm account. So you would have, like, let's say your tagged is your main account. That's where your mains live. But all your farm accounts, instead of calling them like alts,
Mhm.
live there. And instead of having to log in and do that drone kind of work, maybe charge $3 for advanced production. And we're allowed to hit that account. We're allowed to hit those or farm those accounts. But it would have to be classified that way.
Sure.
It's just an idea. It's not completely thought out, but it
No,
could
no, that's what we're
eliminate.
here talking about. And I think that's the main thing. Like, how would you do that, though? Are you saying you'd have separate accounts like we do now, and you just manages it as a separate account, but allow yourself to, you basically are given the free will to plunder it or send resources, that kind of thing?
Yeah, but for your team. So it's not necessarily like, hi, that XYZ account is mine, don't touch it. It's like,
Got it.
you know, with our team, we share a lot. And I'm sure a lot of teams share as well. But sometimes it gets a little heavy when it's only the same 10 people sharing constantly. It would be great if we could have one of like those empty, we all have them.
Yeah.
Empty hives sitting on the, imagine being able to take one, put it next to your hive and be at your farm.
Yep.
Like that's dedicated to you. And people that want to farm those accounts to help them, they pay a fee.
So,
Like
so if I can
month
summarize, you could pay a fee for like an alliance family member, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
then this way we could house them their hours. So we don't have to worry about plundering from other areas. But that's our food. Basically, those are our tiles,
Sure.
so to speak. And each person that wants to have one of those special tiles could have that for, a monetary cost for the month.
Absolutely.
Like the same way we're paying $10 for the auto join, which I really appreciate and like. We could do that.
Yep.
And it's not so crazy that people can't necessarily afford it. And for free to play, we would still have the opportunity to help out free to play if we wanted to. Like, hey, I'll trade you X for Y.
Yeah, but
It's
then
just an idea.
how do, so if I'm Evony, how do I manage that as far as like you're basically kind of talking about how it is set up now where anybody can hit any account. How do you stop them from being a resource seller and saying to the next alliance, hey, you can come hit this. It's got, 20 billion of each on it, and we're going to charge you $100 and you can take all these resources. How do you stop that from happening then?
Well, I don't write code. I don't know.
No, I mean, but that's just the way they're going to be thinking, right? It's like they don't want to,
Right.
they want to do something that they still can make money. And I think that's to Jake's point. I think that they still want a way to push you to buying packs. And frankly, we still need the buffs. We still want those buffs. How do we balance it from their needs from a business standpoint to what we need? I think that's
As
what
players.
as players, that's what we got to think about as well. Who else we got on
Fair.
here? Good girls here.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, I was eating pizza. No, we don't need outs. Like we don't need outs.
Absolutely. Tell us why.
It's crazy. I mean, why? I don't know. I'm K34, and without outs, there's no fucking way to push any further. There's just no way. Hi, Grace.
Yeah.
It's like you hit that sweet 44, and let's not even talk about the poos and anything else. Like all the sweet things. You're 44, you wanna keep pushing your buildings. There's no way.
Right.
Like it literally takes you 5 years.
Well, and even
doing just both.
we've even got members, like I said before, we've even got members with, trying to get K40 or T15s opened up as well. And those folks are still struggling, even since they released that.
We have K42s and 3s that don't have all 15s opened. And actually, I don't even have CAF opened because, well, I decided it's a bad idea for me anyway.
Yeah.
To have them. And it's a part of my defense, but it's just crazy the amount of resources to do the siege, for example.
So what kind of things does Evony
Yeah.
have to worry about though if they're going to open up alts? I'm not saying really the mechanics of it necessarily, but what are the things they're considering on their end so that we still are driving the revenue? We're still going for those packs.
I mean, in terms of us buying the resources from Evony, I'd still do it. I mean, it's Coining Strike. I'm supporting that. I'm not spending money now, but like after that,
Yeah, after they start actually
obviously,
fixing some things and implementing some of the ideas we talked about, I think people will start going to coining again.
Obviously, the Monster Privilege pack was amazing. That was one of those things I was buying like a crazy motherfucker twice per day. And if they pop in the pack that is, I don't know. Hey, we all like to push the things. If they start selling me pack that is like, hey, let's sell 500 billion resources each and pop the high price for it, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
It's just because it's so much resources that we need now. We do have speeds, we do have staff, we just need resources, and the bosses don't drop, and we getting anxious. We want more, we don't want to spend so much time on doing the buildings. We want to train troops, we want to have fun and get fat, not like sit here and do the buildings.
Right.
Ages.
Well, I think that's the balance, though, too, right? I mean, the balance would be, and I know Jake has seen this. Probably a lot of you have seen this. How about those folks that are just done playing because they basically won the game now, right? They've gotten T16s open. They're 100 billion. They got all these 5K buffs. They've won challenge. They won all stars. They did all these things. And now what do, right? If they're not enjoying the game and they're not building, and what is the enjoyment of the game if it's tied to all just the buildings, getting resources, all those activities that you're talking about really keep you in the game to buy things, right? Keep you in the game, whether it's stamina, whether it's buffs. I think what they've got to do is balance that a little bit with, we don't want to give it all for free. So I can't just spend $500, $1,000 and get a bunch of resources to get my, T16 open that I need or something.
I mean, look at that. We're bossing so much, right? We're bossing nonstop. We have got few people that actually do rally bosses. One person goes to sleep, another jumps in, and like there's never ending story with that. And
yeah, and it's not enough.
I admit I'm spending money on that game, and I actually had to go to black market and buy stamina for gems from black market,
right?
Because I was fucking low,
right.
And it's not like I'm not a coiner. So how all of those other people can catch up? Like there's no way. They need to bring back that pack with stamina. It's just as stupid at this point. This is just too expensive.
Yeah.
For everyone. It's the biggest part for everyone in this game. Even if you're like free to play or medium coiner or even like coining a little bit more, you need to join bosses to do anything in this game.
Yeah.
Or even like have a fun really.
For sure.
It's just stupid. And I know they're trying to cut them out, not have stam, not join bosses, and we are gonna plunder them and cheat. This is just all bullshit at this point.
Right. Well, and now they've agreed though. Like we're at the point where they've agreed though. So like they are saying they want to allow these alts. So I think that's what I want to talk about though, is how does that system get implemented? What's fair for them as well for us? So what is it? Does it get us what we need, and that's resources as well as not, hit the bottom line? I see Chris joined as well. You got any thoughts on that?
I'm just listening. Hi, guys.
Hello. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
To answer like one of your questions from before, we all if we need to take like a step back and actually look at the situation. Like you guys are talking about 44 and 45, and I'm gonna drop 500. That's the prime. Evony broke their own game, and now they're looking at us to actually financially bail them out and keep spinning on our hamster wheel, like trying to aim for that water tank. They broke the game. they're the ones that implemented too much, too fast, too soon, all to appease a very small group. What I love about this coin strike is that it's starting to show attention to that. So, yeah, the stamina pack being
But
removed,
what do you?
absolutely
Let me just ask
ridiculous.
you though. What small group? What do you mean? What? So you're saying that because there's such a small group of K45s right now that somehow all those changes catered to them, or what are you saying there?
Not necessarily. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna take like a hop, skip, and a jump back to like maybe 3 years, like where they did 40, and then in a blink of an eye they did 45. I felt like that 45 was catered specifically to a very, very small group of players at the time. I'm not talking about now, but at the time. Now, maybe their idea was, well, none of these people are going to actually hit 45. They totally did not think of the competitiveness of some of the people that.
We lost you. Yeah, I think I understand. I think the comment
She
is
got red Wi-Fi.
she got red Wi-Fi. We just lagged. We lagged her out. Back to number 5 on the list. No, yeah, I think you're right. I think that they've basically created the problem themselves, and they've reinforced the fact that people need to go find resource sellers. They need to find hacks. They need to have more farms and alts. Just to get to where they want to do. I mean, it's human nature for everyone to want to.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
It got cut off.
It's human nature for everyone to want to grow and to want to make progress and do better than their neighbors. Compete better and faster and find the loophole that gets them to be bigger and stronger faster. But I think that we are where we are now. How do we help both sides out? And that's us as a players as well as. And that's all the players too, like I said before. All the players as well as Evony.
Yeah, no, and I guess because I got cut off, and I apologize for that. Of course, somebody has to call me when I'm on an important,
See?
line call.
Yeah. You have your moment in the sun here. Come on, let's hear it.
Oh my God, really? I mean, come on, people. All right, so
You're gonna be famous.
yeah, right, infamous maybe, but not famous. So
my mom and dad are watching. Don't worry, you're gonna be really famous.
Hi. All right, so well, I guess what my original point was is that Evony broke their game, and then they never counted on the fact that everybody was going to be hyper competitive and try to rush to this moment. They also released so much so soon, so fast, that it's now required for people to have alts to actually get to the next step. And then they said, no, you're all cheating. And then they basically wiped out everybody's sources. And then they sit back and they're like, well, we don't understand why you don't want to spend money on us. So I get the whole everybody wants to grow and everybody wants to get bigger. And I do too. I want to be powerful. I want to sit pretty with dragons and all this stuff. But at the same time, I have to be realistic. Is it my mortgage or is it Evony?
Well, for sure. And that's absolutely right. I mean, people want a way to grind, right? I mean, they want a way to be able to run more bosses, get on the game more often, and do things and actually work for it, right?
Yeah.
We're just asking them to put in something, and that's this family system or the alts to be able to do that and make it all possible. Otherwise, you just can't do it as an individual keep.
No, and I totally agree with you. It's just I try to keep a larger perspective on the hamster wheel, like that never-ending process. And then you ask, well, what do you do? What about these people that hit all the goals? What do we do for them?
Yeah.
Maybe this is a prime opportunity for Evony to set up a different server system or something that they can join to flex.
Yeah.
If that's what they want to do.
Yeah, no,
But
we've talked about some of those
beating
ideas
us
as well.
up.
Right. And I think that's just it. We can't do
I'm
a
41 right now, and
Okay.
I can't see the forest for the trees because every time I walk into Battlefield, it's what? 44. Gotcha. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's always going to be there. I mean, the discrepancies in keeps and buffs and all those things that's just a reality,
that's
and
just
that's
Evony. Right.
we're not going to fix all that here,
Well-
but somebody was talking.
Someone in chat says all else in the world will not change the benefits of spending, and it's really true. yeah, you're gonna push your buildings a little bit with resources and stuff, but you still wanna spend because no one at the end of the day wanna be big, fat, and soft.
Right.
Mhm.
Because
Oh yes,
it's not
there are
because
some.
it's not.
We made them in BOG.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I mean, at some point, yeah, you're gonna use those alts to grow a little bit faster, but it actually encourages us to, and get a little bit better. I mean, at least for me, okay, it's gonna help me to speak the siege, but I will be still checking the packs and looking to actually buy more stuff, especially if they drop some pink shit. I mean, this I just can't.
So let me
That
just
makes sense.
summarize what you said there. The alts they basically encourage spending, because you want to actually have the buffs to back up that that keep size or that large number of troops or
Oh
that.
yeah,
So
What?
it basically goes hand in hand with alts. And if you're not willing to do that, you're basically creating yourself as a big target, which is absolutely true. So that's a good point.
This is exactly what we are seeing now. You have C1 all alliances with K44 and 50 billions with, my god, so much crappy buffs because they don't spend, but they are fat and big. And you have K45 for 20 billion in C5 that are fucking 5k buff, but they don't have troops and they don't have, they push all the resources in the buildings and not
Right.
in the troops. And yeah, the good balance is, yeah, you make those resources to get fat, but
Mhm.
you definitely want to go to 4k, 4.5k, 5k. Yeah, 5k is only for the whales, but you will always need those things in packs. So
Yep.
it's not a matter. We never count on packs to get resources because the resources in the packs were always shitty.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
even they don't understand that plundering alts aren't making us stop buying packs. It's just simple as that.
Yeah. And Mako's point too, it is the nature of the game. It is still a pay to win game. We're not going to get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
Evony doesn't want us to get rid of that. They're going to continue to push pretty packs. Now, to Jake's point, if they added resources to those same packs, it would also solve the problem, maybe lessen the need for as many alts
Oh yeah.
or as big
Yeah.
alts
Yeah.
or changing the
Well,
taxing on alts. Go ahead, Jake.
It would be to avoid going with sellers, like
Yeah.
If you could buy a pack for the same amount of resources plus a little bit of gems or whatever, like everyone would do that rather than hit up their local Viet, to go buy.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
if it
yeah.
was the same price, like around $2, like $1.5 a bill.
Wait, how do you
$2
know that,
bills.
Jake? Are we gonna do confessions here? Or... No, I'm kidding.
Everybody knows.
Oh, that's hypothetical.
It-
Yeah, that's right.
It was in Evony newsletter,
We'll blank that out. Don't worry.
the
No.
gossip page.
That's
Yes.
Hey, check your mails,
It
bro.
was.
yeah,
I
no,
saw
you're right.
that.
I know.
I saw that in the gossip page. It
Yeah,
being deleted.
they're all over the mail. As soon as SVS starts up, you get a new mail. So I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
No, that's true, and I think that even so for those that aren't going to purchase though, you still need a solution. So maybe you don't give 5 alts, and I don't want everybody's going to hit me over the head, but maybe you only give 2 or 3 alts, ability to have 2 or
Yeah.
3 family members.
Yeah, like the
Um,
voice says, else keeps people interested and engaged in the game, and that's so much true.
oh yeah,
I love logging in on the morning, and you can say it's the pain, but I actually love logging in on the morning and setting up the things and
yeah,
taste the shit.
sending farms out, clicking all the stuff, doing the activities, chatting, having your coffee. Yeah, no, there is something to be said just being in the environment, and the more alts you got, the more time you're going to spend online, possibly seeing all those pop-ups and clicking on them. So
Yeah.
pay more stamina pack, buy more gems and stuff because still ending up actually at some point buying them. If it's game, it's not for free to play players anymore. That's the fact.
Yep.
Like they can't keep up.
I mean, let's
Especially
be
now.
honest. That's always been
Yeah.
like that. It's just more and more obvious now, with the big disparity in buffs. So
Especially with the bigger buffs and big everything, they just
Yep.
make everything
troop
big,
counts.
huge.
Yep. And
Yeah,
Foxy wants
we're
9 alts.
facing.
I don't think that's happening, Foxy.
Hi, Foxy. Foxy gonna have 69 alts.
Yeah, you will. Definitely you will.
We're facing now 100 billion guy in SVS K45, and he's in Alliance
157.
alone.
Yeah, he's 157
Yeah.
bill, by the way. Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
All right.
157. Don't forget the 57.
Okay. Listen, I don't do math. You both know it.
Go ahead. What's your
Yeah.
point? Go.
Come on. So my point was he's there alone. He have one more guy that he's 30 bill. All his crew is just there, like, I don't know, 5, 7, 15.
It's basically the Sir Philip problem of today, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah, like really, another server with one big dude. I was trying to get those guys to rally him.
you're exactly right, Mako. Mako. Yeah, Malinois. He wants a throne truce. We said hell
Super
no.
nice guys, by the way. Super nice. Yes. But that game must be super boring, right? Play by yourself.
All right, let's get back to the point. So, what are we asking for? We're asking for the alts. We're asking for a system to potentially share. I like the idea of an alliance family member. You know, maybe you could designate a portion of those resources or one of your 5 family members to the alliance as a share. Because I know in the past I've done that a lot with people, whether you're carting them resources or letting them hit.
I don't think that. I think that what I heard from the call with the dev, with Evony, they said the alt will be attached to your main. So I think they will try to make a way that only your main can plunder your alt.
Yeah.
This will be as simple as that for them.
Yeah,
So you can
but
sell, you can trade, you can do anything else that just plunder your own alt.
Yep.
You can't give it away.
You can't give it away, but like,
No.
what if I plunder it and then let you hit me?
Yeah.
I sell you my resources. I mean,
Yeah.
these are things they have to consider when they're
that might
implementing
be
it.
issue.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
You know
these are real issues that they've got to think about. And so when we ask for something, we have to think about, and that's why I said put on your Evony hat a little bit. Try to figure out what's their counter to that is. I'll be the bad
They
guy.
give you safe resources.
Yeah, safe resources. And you're already seeing that. I think Good Girl was talking about this the other day. They've flipped over to safe resources, and one of the things it's a little bit of a they basically hit you when they change thing to safe resources. It's a small thing, but it adds up when you consider all the safe resources we're getting now. Resource critical doesn't work on safe resources, right? So
No, they don't.
So that additional thing right there was a bit of a nerf, right? And so that's a bit of a sneaky nerf. But instead of giving us something, which I know why they did it, they don't want us to plunder alts and to get all these resources. What if they just swapped everything that's currently open resources, they moved to safe resources? And then you could hit your family members for those resources because you're their family, you're their boss. I mean, why not have safe resources for everything? And then those resources that are open, you still get a little bit of a bonus from hitting somebody in SVS and clearing or hitting a bubble drop, but it's not 50 billion resources off of that person. I don't know. Or cap it for everybody that's not.
I mean, they're definitely giving us safe resources from so many places right now, like from the events that you didn't claim the badges from something, you're getting them in safe resources now, and it will be all good. Like, okay, don't let me plunder that, don't let me steal that, but hey, give me my critical resources, because this is a big difference in resources. And I can listen to all of those big fat turkeys telling me it doesn't matter, but it does matter.
Oh, it
There's
absolutely
a
matters.
big amount of resources.
It absolutely matters, and I do think that it plays into this discussion, though. I think that alts and family members, safe resources, I think are a solution that they were looking to do to potentially slow down the number of alts that have resources, like Yimmers, right? Hit all the Yimmers, but
Yeah.
some of it now goes to safe resources.
I mean, if they wanted to completely stop it, they should make farms, the tiles, safe resources, and then you couldn't sell them.
No, that's a
So
good
that
idea.
would knock it on the head completely. So if they want to stop people selling resources from farming,
Listen, don't put dumb
let's make
things
it-
in their hearts.
No, that's a good idea.
I mean, that's really, if you want to stop it completely, if you want to stop everybody growing like full stop unless they buy packs, then farming is, then why would you wouldn't do it, would you? That would put an end to it completely.
Yeah, but you still have, joiners, right? Now that we've got auto join, you've got five alts and you want to do auto joining, so you're getting all those boxes. I also think they could update those boxes to add a bigger percentage as safe resources, but since you're the master of those alts or those farms, you can plunder them, but nobody
They
else
are
can.
only for you.
Yeah.
Safe
You see, I
resources.
still think
Good.
I don't think Evony have an issue with farming. I think they have an issue with cheating. And I think because I listened to his call a few times and he was talking about they assume you've cheated. So he was saying that they're looking for illegally searching monsters and coding in the game. And so if you have an account that drastically goes up in resources, I think they think you've manipulated the game. So I think if you hit alts because you need, I don't know, 100 billion of each, and they suddenly see your resources go sky high, I think that's why I don't know, I'm thinking, is that why they ban people? Because
Absolutely. It is volume, I think, and we all, we all have our theories on how they're finding them. It's, IPs, it's number of resources per hit, it's over a month. It's, everybody's got a theory, but I think you're absolutely right. I think that they don't know, so they just
No.
did this wide net of, we're just going to ban all the alts, even though they're
Yeah,
just
and
some person that's doing their own work to try to,
yeah,
try to grow. So no, I think you're absolutely right.
because he said that we don't ban on purpose. We're trying to improve the system to avoid banning wrong accounts that are misbanned. And then he said customer service are trying to solve this problem. So I don't think that whatever they're using to search for the accounts that are miscoding or are selling resources, I just don't think they've got the system right. And I think that they're banning farms that shouldn't be banned because whatever they're doing to search for them isn't quite the right thing. I don't know. That's my theory.
I think that's right.
Yeah, so I don't
think
even know whether they have got a problem.
Sorry,
go on.
Yeah. If they really want to ban people for searching for bosses, they might need to ban like half of the game.
No, I think
At
what
that
she's
point,
talking about is the ones that are
there
actually
was-
hacking the
yeah.
code, not necessarily the
Yeah.
eye scouters and the finders, but the ones that are really
Yeah.
manipulating code behind the scenes to cheat the system somewhat, not
Yes, but
necessarily
they banned
manually.
so many people that they weren't doing that.
Oh no, that's what I think we're all in a violent
They
agreement here.
They were banning people for transferring resources, not even
That's
being
crazy.
hit, like for sending cards to
That's
alliance
crazy.
members. And this is crazy. Like they some point they got as afraid to hit people for resources in SBS.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And for they have like the system at some point when it doesn't matter if you had resources or no and bought them, but if you're doing building, it's fine. But if you train troops and jump power significantly, like big jump, next morning you're getting message you have been flagged for this and this because you jumped power. They don't flag you for doing building. It's crazy, and you didn't do anything different.
Well, don't
And
tell
it's
them
been on
that.
so
Jesus.
many.
Now they're gonna
It's
start
been
banning
on
everybody.
so many people. It's true.
I know.
They have that mistake there because people
I think so.
don't do anything.
Yeah, I think it's their
And
system that's
that's
searching to people is just not accurate enough. And he even
yeah, it's
admitted
like
that. He said,
automatic message. You
yeah,
jump
he
power
said,
and you get
yeah,
automatic message telling you, hey, you did something wrong, like when you just really didn't.
yeah.
So I don't know what they're trying to do, slow down the game for who really, since we are still all coining, buying the packs and stuff. Well, not now, CoinStrike, obviously,
Well, what
but the
if
previously.
what if they actually just realized they made a big mistake? I mean, I know it seems obvious to all of us when you look at the spreadsheets and you see the resource requirements and all the things you need to do, and then you're the one trying to do it now and can't do it. What if they just frankly weren't aware of how slow it was, how bad it is? You know, I think that's
Okay.
the other thing is we're shining a
They
light
saw
on
my
this
mistake.
now that
Mm.
you know the coining strike is actually showing them that hey, there's a reason why we've been purchasing, there's a reason why we've had alts. These are all things you've sort of created on yourself. So I think there's a little bit of that in some of the reactions when you hear them give responses, and
Yeah.
their willingness to say yes was way too easy. Like when I even think you heard in the call, somebody pointed out to me when he said we're going to give you all your alts back, and I just flat out said no. Like what? That
My
come
first
on.
thought was like, shut up.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like that is just like, are you like you're just gonna say yeah, we're gonna give you all your alts back? We're gonna move on to number 3 on the list? Like, are you joking right now? So I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of people are at. Is we do have to give them a little bit of time to come back and really look at what we're asking for. But my concern
Yeah.
is they go away and come back with something that really doesn't solve the problem. So
No.
Mhm.
Because if you've
I
got, go on.
go ahead,
oh sorry, I was
Jake.
just gonna touch on Hefe's thing. So it's not that Evony doesn't realize how slow it is. They 100% know because base building games aren't a new thing, and Evony isn't the first one to do it.
Mhm.
It's designed to lock people in, you know, like those C6 whales after, and we were all them at one point. You know, we all got stuck after the first couple days of playing. And
Yes.
then we're like, oh shit, let me get into this for whatever reason.
Right.
It's not that, I don't think. I think the reason that they were so prepared and so like willing to roll over in a sense is because of all the spending that got like grouped together. You know,
Mhm.
they see all these people. We tell them we have like 8,000 people. Um, yeah, they are worried about money. So
Absolutely. I
if
I, I
we're doing
100%
their
agree.
money,
I 100% agree.
how often do those crazy events like Napoleon come around? Like every quarter or maybe twice a year, something like that.
Yeah.
They
I
don't
think
want
that's
that to be a low spending event the
The
next time that
anniversary
comes
event, I
around.
think, is the next one coming up, isn't it?
next one is anniversary is November, beginning of
Yeah.
the November.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they want to make us happy by then. But if we hold out, like I don't know if you guys heard in the call. I mean, Hefe was there, but Oz almost ended it, saying like, "Hey, this is a great job today," like to the Evony guy. But the coin strike goes on until
He
the
did a
stuff's implemented.
perfect job of saying that. That was
Yeah.
absolutely
That was like
exact,
impactful to them.
super impactful. Totally agree.
I wish people wouldn't have talked after that.
Yeah, just stop. Like,
Yeah.
right? Hope I wasn't one of those talking after. I really tried to be
No,
quiet,
you
but
weren't. You were not.
okay, good.
But
I
yeah,
mean, someone had to point it out.
No, Oz did a
We're still
fantastic
pissed
job
off.
keeping us on
Yeah.
task and just really holding their feet to the fire. And the point is, you have to actually. It's not a. And I think I originally had this, you know, a little bit of a negative on the here's our demands. But I think the way it was presented versus the way it was written was very different. You know, Oz was being realistic. He laid it all out nicely for him, and he did hold them to the fire. Gave them a little time to talk about their, you know, amongst themselves. It's like we have to be realistic with them as a company and how they have to implement things too. But you know, I think it's important we just stay on them, and that's what we're doing. I'm pretty excited that you know people are going to actually stick with this coining strike. And as we all know, tomorrow's going to be a big test. But it shouldn't be hard for many of us just to not coin. We don't need any more stuff right now because there's no point if we can't keep growing and we can't keep doing the things we want to do. So just hold
Just
out.
gonna buy
It's
me
going to help.
back.
It's going to help everybody.
I think the real test is going to be on the medium and small alliances and players.
Mhm.
Because the top, like, let's say the top 10 teams, it doesn't matter if they get like an Alexandria or like a Rostock or whatever for a sub this weekend. That's not gonna make them shift spots and like start winning against those other top teams.
Right.
So we just got to worry about the medium dudes that are thinking, "Oh shit, this is the time I'm gonna get the top 16 challenge now." Yeah.
And I would even say that if tomorrow you start seeing people going for the sub, it doesn't mean the coining strike was failure at all. I just think there's going to be some people taking advantage of the fact that there isn't as much competition. I don't know what to say about it.
Absolutely.
I don't know what to say about it, but it's human nature for some folks, and I can't say that I blame them, but at the same time, if they could just hold off and not do it, I think it would help everybody.
They suck.
Exactly.
No.
'Cause, I mean, if they
100% agree with you on that.
Mhm.
About people, some people are going to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
That people aren't going to be
Imagine.
coining.
Yep.
Imagine you
Go ahead,
can
Chris.
have in one of these pretty red subs for $500K, $500. Imagine you buy 5 packs and you are top one.
Don't give
and
them any
you get-
ideas, Chris.
You get the
Jeez.
subs. That would be
I think
also.
we know someone is gonna get a sub. I think Chris is gonna get one.
Chris is good. I'm gonna
How's
watch.
that
Don't worry, I'm
now?
watching him. I'm watching him close. Watching him.
I mean, if it's going to be actual pink, we're gonna have an issue.
You might get
here.
one. Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna watch Good Girl now. Too.
Yeah, if it's pink, if Evony is listening, I
Maybe
want that
there's
shit pink.
maybe there's a clause.
Yeah.
Coining strike unless it's pink. We'll see if we can add that to the coining strike.
Yeah, let's
I don't know
let's
if
do it.
I don't know if Viper's gonna go for that one, but we'll check with Oz.
Here's how to break me.
Yeah.
No,
Make
it'll
pink.
it's
No,
I
they
you-
will all break us if they release the Wargen and the assistant Wargen with fucking Covenant. We are all
Obviously,
fucked.
entire
you
Evony
don't. Nobody
community
hits
is
you anyway,
waiting
Chris.
For Wargen
You don't
set.
need shit. You don't need shit. You could
Yeah,
put
you
Charger on
don't
the
need
wall,
it.
you'd be fine. So don't tell us you need that thing.
Let's just
Yeah.
not mention the time when Chris spent entire SVS without Wargen on
Oh
and
my
still
god.
And
not
subs unlinked.
attached.
And subs unlinked. Yeah.
Unlinked.
that was
I
pretty
don't know
bad.
how they didn't even like fucking go and steal the suits. Such a tricky
Now everybody's
entire SVS.
now everybody on the
Make it
server's test hitting
no.
his subs. So all the time.
They didn't even scout you.
Nope.
Anyway, no, it's good. I think
Hopefully.
it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think there's definitely going to be people breaking the coining strike. They may not have been people that were originally coining striking. So it is what it is. I think that those that are doing it just need to stay strong. You don't if you don't coin this weekend, think of the packs that they might implement. Think of the new subs. Think of the new buffs. Maybe the resources that are on tiles. I mean, all the changes they may be able to do because you've impacted it that much more that it's going to really wake them up. So all I can say is just do your best. Try your best. I know some people need stamina or they think they need something, but at the end of the day,
Speed margin.
if we reduce it by a ton, they're going to feel it in their wallet and they're going to actually come around and want to negotiate and make some changes.
Exactly.
So
Hopefully.
I'll get off my soapbox, but I'm trying.
Yeah,
Funny
like a
thing-
2 months effort for 2 years winning on the shit we will get.
Oh no, that I think.
Sorry. Go on.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just
I
going
was
to
gonna
say, I
say-
just.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead,
No, go on,
Blaze.
you go
Blaze
first.
first. Blaze first.
Well, I hope we haven't shot ourselves in the foot because I'm just not sure. I keep coming back to it, but I don't know whether their issue was with us literally farming. I wonder if their issue was, with the cheating. And I hope by this thing that we've done where we've said we'll assign each account 5 alts, and then we end up that we can only farm those, and then we're saying, well, hold on a minute, I've got 2 main accounts and 10 farms, and I wanted that one to do that one this week, and that we haven't actually now restricted ourselves further. But time will tell.
I
That's just
I think
cynical,
there's
but-
definitely I think there's definitely going to be trade-offs there, and I do think it's important. That's kind of why I want to talk about is we really don't want them to think about how we think of using those alts. It'd be great
Yeah.
if we could give them, here's our sort of approach that we would take, and it's not necessarily how to do it because we physically don't, we're not going to dictate how they code it all up, but we can give them the overarching. Here's the needs. Here we want flexibility with these alts. We want to be able
Yeah.
to utilize them. we want to be able to transfer 'em. Maybe there's only one owner they can have. Well, that wouldn't work because then you're going to sell somebody ownership of that thing. But yeah, there's all sorts of things that we could give them in parameters that we're looking for.
Yeah.
But maybe
It'd
that
be
month.
interesting to know what their issue is with the farming, if it isn't even is an issue. I mean, is it an issue? It'd be nice to just ask them, does it bother them if you've got lots of accounts?
Yeah.
Because I think really what they were looking for was cheating, and I wonder if we're looking at it from a different point, and that
Yeah,
not
it's a
having
good
lots
point.
of accounts isn't a problem. I
No,
think
it's
if you actually said to them, what is your issue? You know, what is your problem? And I think it is just cheating, really. They
Yep.
want to find the cheaters.
I would go as
So,
far
I
as
don't
say
know.
it's cheating and money, right?
Yeah,
You're
people making money off them.
yeah, and I think they're, we've said it already, but they're naive to think that it's just about resources. We also need the buff, so we're going to spend, and we're actually going to
Yeah.
probably be encouraged to spend more if you gave us the resources that we need to grow. So
I would feel way more encouraged to spend more if
Yeah.
that let me do that. And I'm not talking about like 15 outs. Like, give me 3, I'll be happy.
I
It's just a little bit of the help.
Yep.
Yeah, about that cheating, I feel like they mentioned one of those programs by name is either iScout or ESB
Mhm.
on the call.
Um,
I think they quantify that as cheating, which I mean kind of is low key. But if let's say you have an alliance of 150, 25 of those are real people, and then 125 alts. If they pay $10 a month to Evony for the auto join, that's like $1,200 and some change, like
Right.
$1,250.
Right.
That's a little bottom line that they would be okay with. Like if they were like, okay, you can have whatever amount of farms you want, just as long as they're buying that pack, then maybe that helps them out.
I agree. They had there's 2 levels of cheating. It's the Telegram apps, the iScouts, the ESPs, all these apps and programs that are being used, third-party apps, and then there's also the legit, hacker that's modifying code and
The
such.
code injection.
So I think it's both. I think you're both right. Yeah. Yeah.
if
Code
only
injection.
I knew it was possible.
Oh yeah, it's totally possible. I'll hook you up with a guy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, his name is Hefe.
Yeah, seems that way. No, I can honestly say I've never done anything like that. Old games I used to do that with a buddy at work. Anyway, we won't go into that. But this no, I think it's right. It's the cheating and then it's money. It always comes back to the money for them. But the cheating certainly is the thing they want to stop in the third party apps. So maybe it's not the alts because that's that's their app, right? It's their stuff. It's more about how are we managing those alts and
they'll profit from it.
Yeah. So no, I think you're onto something there.
They should hire me, dude, as a representative.
Yes, absolutely. Wait, what are you gonna do? Yeah, we could just feed you information and.
Yeah, dude, I'll hook you up on the low.
We just need a back end guy that we can just modify, add zeros to everything, and all of a sudden we got a lot of resources.
You need to chill Elena or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
No, I will say
Did she even say something?
She did say hello at first. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think she did. I might be wrong.
I mean, we can all agree that Evony does not want us to quit. They don't want to see mass exodus.
Hey Gauzy, I
any
think you're
level of
getting us
player.
feedback here. You're gonna have to mute the stream or mute your microphone. But welcome. There he goes.
Yeah.
He was getting
That's
feedback.
kind of how I feel. Like, Evony definitely does not want mass exodus of their mid coiner or their lower tier coiner. If you think about it, like, all this conversation is great, when you're talking about people that can afford to purchase these packs and these buffs and everything else to be in a pay to win or a pay to play. Actually, it's pay to play at this point.
Yep.
And that's fine. But with the pressures and the disparities, I have to tell you, I hear more complaints of like, I got to give this game up. I can't keep up. And this isn't just from one player. This is from 5, 6. yeah, real life is calling. I can't play this game anymore. It's not fun anymore for me. I can't keep up with you guys.
Do you think
And
alts
then they
would help
bail.
them? Like, that's one of my questions here is like, do these alts benefit that type of player as well, or are you saying it won't?
I think it could, as long as you see, it's a systemic problem, and it's a problem that larger spenders forget about
Mhm.
because you already have this stuff.
Mm.
And I say like larger spenders. I don't consider myself a larger spender, but I do spend. But even I feel it that I don't have full sets of Civ gear because I'm not willing to drop 2,000 every 2 weeks.
Right.
You know, I don't have.
Yeah, but
certain
that doesn't have anything to do
aspects
with
in this
alts,
game.
does it? I mean, that's
Well, the point is that when you get those better buffs, if several people on the team can get those things, we start playing at a higher level and a higher rate.
Mhm.
We start then becoming more competitive, and you know, we're striving and we're goal oriented, and yeah, I want to kill that guy, and yeah, we're gonna zero that 50 bill, and
Mhm.
then it becomes that. So the smaller coiner is going, I can't keep up with you guys.
Mm.
So even if I had an alt and I can get to K40,
so you
then
think
I'm that juicy
you just
K40
you
that
just
you
think
guys
it
were talking
overall
about
the
earlier.
economy will be messed up for everyone then. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
asking.
I mean, well, I mean, it'll help. It'll definitely help get, people to their goals.
Mhm.
But if your defense sucks because you can't get that new general, then you're just points.
Like ever. I see what you're saying. So even those folks, so if I'm a free to play player, I'm able to get those 5 alts going. I get, all the resources needed. Maybe I don't have the speeds quite yet because I got to join a lot of bosses. I got all these resources I can grow, but I'll never have the buffs. So I don't know what's worse though, leaving them at, K37 and 38, or allowing them to get to K40 and get some bigger troops for defense. It. I don't know where I don't think the solution is perfect for
No,
everyone.
it isn't. And it's definitely, I'm just throwing,
No.
stuff
I
out there to
I
remind
love it.
people because when you're talking, like, I try to help and coach as much as I can with my limited information and skill set. But when you have somebody that's coming to you saying, hey, LT, can you help me with my wall jump? And they're running like a regular guy, and you're going, yeah, I don't know if defense is where you're at right now. You really need to focus in on your gear. Because I'm thinking in my head, and Cleo, please, jump in on this one, but like
I was
our
just going to.
teams, yeah, like our teams, we're facing like you guys, right? So
Yeah.
you guys are running with like 4,000, 4,500 buffs.
No. But
And
yeah, 4,000. All right, go ahead.
Okay, 4,000 to 45. Come on. I'm seeing some stuff. So
Round up, bro. Round up.
Yeah. I'm at least 5K-ish.
Round up.
round up. So when you're talking in that range and you've got our little guy at a portal
Yeah.
and somebody pops a squat next
Chris
to you and
smashes
wails
him.
on you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
We're playing Chris for sure.
Snails on you.
Dazzles a lot of people.
The
Yeah,
snail
you
the
know what I
snail
mean?
kills you for
Snails
sure.
on you, not whales on you.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
the
and
snail
then
kills you.
sits there and goes,
She's
I did
right,
everything you
though.
told me to do.
But I can't fix that though.
But
How do I
LT is
fix
right
that?
about that.
How do I fix that though?
No,
As
I don't
Evony.
think that.
Tell them
Oh,
something nice before killing them.
well, honestly,
I
how do
think
you
a
fix
lot
that?
of it.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of it she's saying is about the Civ gear. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
huge issue for so many people because you have to coin, to get a lot of that Civ gear.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a coiner. Not right now. I'm not a coiner, but I mean, I don't even have full sets
Mhm.
for all my generals of Civ gear. I mean,
Yeah.
I was a coiner. But it's difficult, and even with what she's talking about is we do have those smaller players, and you want to help them.
Mhm.
But like she said, it's kind of you do exactly what you're supposed to be doing, but you can't. I mean, it's
Your food. You
Well,
end up food.
let me give you a
Yeah.
perspective on that, though. Let me give you a little perspective. So, what you're saying is, if we implement all these alts and Evony does what we need him to do there, the next step is how do we get more drops? And I think that's exactly what the Coining Strike and the leadership want to do, and get these regular cadence meetings and these monthly meetings saying, okay, you've solved this major issue of growth and feasibility to actually get better and grow. Now we got to improve, which they've done a little bit of, and I'll be the first to say they've added some things that have been helpful. Tax scrolls are a little bit more available, not quite as much. Gold certainly was an issue a year ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Not a gold.
I
Gold's not an
definitely
issue
agree.
at all. So I think they do listen. It just doesn't quite happen exactly the way we want it to. And I think if we can get a monthly cadence going with them, I think we can dictate some of those things. And again, we're not asking for everything for free. We
No,
just want to be able
just
to put the actual work in to get it, like hitting
just
the
for
alliance
civ
boss
fragments.
and getting civ gear. We want more of those
Yeah,
type of things.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
it's
don't
gonna
make
have
maybe don't
some
make it a
basically doing that.
maybe don't make it a random piece. There's just things that they need feedback on that I think we need to give them some time to implement.
I
Yep.
would be
Have
fine with civ fragments in,
have I need
Yeah.
16 and up,
Mm.
or the sixes, the Y6s,
Yeah.
because then an entire team can grind for that, and
Put
people
them
could
on the bosses.
actually,
Yeah.
people could actually feel like, yeah, I can play with you guys.
Yep.
Because Cleo, I'm sure you have people on your team that look at you and go, why bother, right?
We
And
do.
that kind of,
Yeah.
and that's kind of hurtful or demoralizing, and we want our teams to grow and be something, and and that's only fun in the game.
Mhm.
But then what happens is that you're left with 10 people that do all the heavy lifting, and we can't leave. We're held hostage on a server
Mhm.
filled with people that don't want to
Yeah.
play.
What
And
were you
that's
gonna?
no fun.
Somebody else was piping in there. Chris was.
I was
have
just
I need you
agreeing.
to check your Discord private message, please. Mako is
Yelling at me.
need the Discord to
Oh, I'll get it to him. Yeah.
Post it on
join
their
us.
YouTube or something.
I'll put it on the. I'll send it to him. Go ahead. Thank you. He knows I don't watch the frickin' chat. He
He never
needs to
was the chat.
pull the fire alarm or something.
He even can't watch AC. Kim.
All right. Let's not pick on Hefe.
So, Hefe, you
Yes,
asked
sir.
a question a little bit ago.
Thank you.
Do alts benefit actual small and medium players?
Yep.
I think it does, and I'm gonna come at it from Evony's POV, as if I was like a representative or whatever. That sells the illusion that they could be the next Neo, in a sense, by allowing alts. So I think it does benefit them to allow alts because it manipulates some people, because the game is manipulative.
Of course.
It keeps
Hell
them
yeah.
No
going.
way.
They're the worst boyfriend ever.
No, you're right. It is an illusion of where you're going to get to. And frankly, we've got some whales on this call. I'll call you guys whales. It's lovingly, of course. But, what would it be like? What would the world be like if everyone was the same and it actually came down to skill? Like,
Oh my God, yes, please.
right? I mean, why wouldn't we want
Right.
that? I would love that competition. I'll show you how good
Did I
I
say
am.
that out loud?
You know what I'm
It
saying?
was back then to K25.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. Let's. Now you're really aging
but-
us here.
Welcome, Mako.
Remember when
Say
it was
welcome to Mako.
K25?
Hi.
The good old days.
Hey, Mako. Sorry, man. I'm just terrible at seeing the chat. You've seen my stream enough. What's going
I
on?
can't wait for everyone to make 5 alts and want them all to bring them all into the alliance, and there's no spaces. That'll be the next thing.
Yeah.
We will.
See, you're gonna have to kick some
Where are they
people.
going to put them?
Oh, there
Yeah.
I'm sure you've already got that. I'm not gonna say where you are, but a lot of alliances already have that problem. All right, everybody can only have 5
Yeah.
alts because,
No
there's
room
not
at
enough
the
room.
Yeah.
All right, let's one
We don't
problem at
have
a
that
time.
problem on our
Let's-
on,
that'd be a good
LC's and my server. We're good.
That'd be a good problem to have. We don't either, but because they're all deleted. But yeah, we that'd be a good problem to have. But go ahead, Mako. How are you doing?
I'm good. Just pretending to work.
Hey, that's good. We're glad we can provide some entertainment for you while you're working. I think Foxy was at class, so he's also listening. Well, you got any thoughts for us?
I think that we're going in the right direction. I liked the way that the dev call overall went. I do think that anything that benefits the player at this point, at any level of player, is a good thing. So the recent unbanning of, a number of alts of folks that lost some in the recent wave, that weren't doing anything except minding their business, I think that's a good thing. But yeah, I think we're moving in the right direction. I want to continue to help everyone, and like you said, if everyone is competitive again, then that's what makes the game fun. So I'm absolutely on board with whatever gets us there.
Yeah, no, well said.
So I have a question.
Gauzy, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Good.
So our biggest struggle on my team, we have a lot of non-coiners. Would it be possible to do the coding so that each alliance has separate bosses but unlimited bosses? So you're not like constantly fighting over it. That would eliminate the boss finding app issues and all that.
Yeah, or expanding the existing boss finding capabilities that they've got. Maybe the reason that we're all doing it or that there's a need for it. So you're saying you don't want to compete with your other alliances, or you just want to be able to do it better?
Right now, there's like most of the other alliances are running boss bots and bots on their main accounts.
Sure.
They're auto setting, and then they're instantly speeding everything. So for us non-coiners, which I haven't coined in a while, I used to coin quite a bit.
Yeah, you did.
It's almost impossible for us to get scrolls and speeds and pretty much anything.
Yeah, so they're basically blocking your growth just based on the fact that you guys don't do those type of things. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know how to fix that, honestly, and that's the only way they're already not allowing third-party apps, but they're maybe not doing as good a job as they could be.
Well, I think that's what I was thinking. A way you could fix it is if you made the bosses specifically per alliance, so that every alliance can grow. They're not fighting over bosses, if that makes sense.
It does. And if they just increase the boss spawn, would that also help? Or are you saying you would just they would even get more and you'd still get less?
They increased the boss spawn, I think, on my server. Because I mean,
Lucky.
we got the other alliances that are hitting like 40,000 points for emirs.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's where all our Ymirs are.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
seriously, Leo and I are fighting over the 6 Y5s that are on our server.
Right.
I mean, in RSD, when the other alliances aren't rallying them, I can hit 35,000 points in emirs. But I can't compete with these boss finding bots that instantly find them, they instantly set, and then they gem it, they send it in 1 minute, and I don't know how they have their alts joining so fast, but they can join those rallies in 30 seconds somehow. It's quite amazing.
They probably speed them too. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I think that I do think the environment and the economy needs to look at too, and I think that's something again. As the next phases come on, the next monthly meetings, those are things to bring up. Is like how do we coexist with other alliances? We want to be able to have still a war game going on, so we don't want to all combine under one roof and make it not have war. Or maybe we do. Maybe we want to combine. It doesn't matter. But the point is how do we make the environment still, whether it's getting rid of those alts or those bot programs, or like you said, somehow designating bosses per alliance, if you will. That I don't know. That could be something we'd throw out to them.
That bot finder that he's talking about that's been happening for years.
Yeah, I think it has. I definitely think it's just
Well, they
improved.
could do the daily cap for alliance to hit the certain bosses, for example.
Yeah.
And then basically you just, if you're a member of that alliance, you cannot hit that boss anymore. That would
but
stop some guys porting around and soloing them, for example. We have that on our server. They just go and port around and you solo them.
Yeah.
for themselves. They don't even set and rally for
Set
their
'em.
own alliance. They even take them from alliance.
Yep.
So
That's rude.
yeah, well, setting the cap for alliance, and you could put the base on the biggest alliance, get
Yep.
a little bit more than the smaller alliance and stuff like that. But people would be still upset because they would be saying, yeah, we could usually rally more. So you're never gonna get everyone happy because biggest alliance always gonna dominate
Well,
on
again,
server.
I don't think that we're going to necessarily dictate the solution to Evony. I think the problem is
Yeah.
we don't have the ability to run bosses, and we don't have enough bosses. And here's the problem, what we're seeing. And I think, like Gauzy said, whether it's you don't have the time, you don't have the calves, you don't have the people online, you don't have the third-party apps, whatever the thing is, I think that's something that needs to be addressed as well. So no, I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what
for
they
If
me,
should
you
do?
also, once you merge, if you merge with another server too, and if the alliances, let's say no one decides to merge with each other, because that happens,
For sure.
then it's almost like you feel like there's no bosses on the server because you've got 10 alliances, and they're all going for the same bosses. I mean, once you merge, it just seems even more. It just seems even harder to find the right boss.
Yeah, that's why I kind of figured if they put it per alliance where the other alliance couldn't see that specific boss. So let's just say they capped the total amount of bosses on the field, but they made it so that the only people that can see that boss is that alliance. And then if you're in the other alliance, you can see that boss as well. And they separated it. Then you wouldn't be competing against each other. You would still be able to grow. And if that alliance wants to go solo those bosses, go ahead, go solo all those bosses. But if my alliance wants to rally all those bosses and grow everybody, then I can do that as well.
What if they just improve the Garudas?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not being flip. I'm being serious. Like, I mean, Agalops are huge, right? I mean, they're an awesome boss for everyone to run. What if they had better Garudas, more events that were the same way? Where it's,
Imagine if they add resources to Garudas.
or here's another idea: we could get, basically like you pop a thief. Maybe you can pop a certain amount of bosses. If your online time is an hour, you get another 6 Y6s you can pop for your alliance alone. There's a lot of ideas I think that you could implement that maybe wouldn't change the whole mechanics of the game right now, just improving on what they've already got.
I got an idea following on from that. What if, as a Ymir 6 pops up, every alliance can hit it? Like it says visited, like you can't hit this again because you've already done it.
Oh yeah.
So every
Like a
alliance
witch?
could hit that. Yeah, so say you've got like 100 bosses, well, every alliance can hit them, and they don't disappear till everyone's hit them, but it'll tell you you've already rallied it, so you can't rally it again. And then you wouldn't be fighting over them because you could all hit the same ones. It wouldn't matter.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
That's not a bad idea.
All right, Blaze, we're putting you on Jake's team. He's gonna take you as an assistant.
Yeah, we're going straight to Shanghai, bro.
That's right. You got it. Go ahead, Gauzy.
The other
Not a bad
struggle.
idea.
The other struggle my team has as non-coiners is we're facing K44s, K45s constantly with 4,800 buffs. And as far as debuffs for a non-coiner, you used to be able to half it. If you worked hard, you could get the gear, you could half those buffs, and you could actually have a chance. Right now, we can't even get anywhere close to half of 4,800 with debuffs as far as non-coiners. So I really hope that they change something in that aspect.
Well, the military stuff they added has some of that, and you can grind that out with your activities. I know it's slow, but there is some of those things that they're adding into there. Duty generals. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things that you can't get as a coiner that they have a big advantage. I don't know how to. The environment has to be more evened out, and this is back to the whole. We need to be able to grind for things. We need to be able to improve, not just with purchasing. Now, I will also say, and I've said this in the past, you got to look at it from a whale perspective too. Why am I paying for all this stuff, and then next month you get it all for free? That's kind of their perspective. And so why not have something that says, okay, you get 100 buffs for buying it, but you only get 80 buffs or make it a little closer, right? So for grinding it out, and it took you 6 months to get it. I'm all for that, right? Why make it equal if you're not paying for it? stuff like that.
No,
I don't know.
not necessarily equal, but how about being just like up front? Like, okay, everybody's gone to a VIP event or has heard about a VIP event, right? Whether it be a concert, a show, or something to that effect. The person that has the most bucks gets to get into the show the first week it opens. And then they get all the bells and whistles and the carte blanche and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And then the show is open to the public after the month.
Which is what they're
That, I
kind of
think-
doing now. They're kind
No,
of
they're
doing
not.
that. Oh,
No,
yeah,
they're
they
not.
are. Yeah, they are. They add, I mean, not for
No.
everything, but I'm saying like generals that are only in cakes eventually show up for, in the
On
coins.
Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying everything's like that. Civ gear isn't like that.
But
It is.
exactly. So
But it is,
you're answering a lot of the questions. So, like, hi, Gauzy. Welcome to the first meeting of the Beaten Up On.
Yeah.
We appreciate your attendance. It gets a little harder, but I don't think Wales would get mad if it was presented in a fashion of like, okay, we're going to release this, but only you guys get to have it.
Yeah.
You get 30 days with it, and then we're going to trickle it down like the line.
Yeah.
Because then when you trickle it down, then it becomes, I can still grind for it. It might take me 6 months to get it, but maybe the mid-coiner then says, okay, I'll drop, 500 this week on that. So they're still getting a profit margin.
Yeah.
And then the whale doesn't get mad that they purchase something.
I was
because
just
they
giving
knew
the
they
other
were
side.
gonna.
I agree with you because I actually think
It's okay.
that those whales and those teams want full players. You don't want to do it on your by yourself. I mean, it works for a little while, but it does get a little boring. You want to do rallies, you want to do other things, and if you don't have a team and you don't have people, it's not fun.
I was going to say something, but I don't want to be dirty on the first call when I'm on with you guys.
Oh, go for it. We're all hosts here, so go ahead.
You're totally guilty.
It's all fun to play with yourself in the beginning, but it gets hella boring afterwards.
See, that was perfect. Somebody clip it. Somebody clip it.
I know. These are ideas that have always been kind of rooting around in my head. And poor Cleo's had to listen to them probably several times.
Yeah.
Well, I've always liked the one that you've had about Civ gear for bosses or higher level bosses. I always thought that one's such a good one because God, so many people in my alliance, your alliance could definitely use that. It doesn't have to be every time you hit a Y6, but
it could be like
an option.
Achaemenid gear. Guys, I mean, I know it's been like, a millennia since we've actually had to deal with that. But remember how we would hit like B13s and pray that we got Achaemenid gear?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
true.
you'd open it up and you'd scream, I got pants!
Now you want
Even if it was just the original.
Screenshot it and you'd show everybody.
Oh my god, Jen.
Even if it was just the original gear sets, the the
that was actually
choreo,
so
the
much fun.
Contagion, the freedom.
Yeah,
Like even if it wasn't the good
Aztec
gear
and-
sets.
Yeah.
Just the
Right. Maybe
original
it's
sets.
the first
I don't
4 or
hate that.
5. Right? And then even if I got copies of it, I wouldn't care because I can ascend it.
But aren't you able to get some of those things in the various shops? I know it's not easy, but
yeah, 26
Get
weeks.
frags.
well,
26 weeks.
I'm just
Are you
saying.
going to wait 26 weeks for
So,
a copy of something you
What
already
my
have?
point is that that'd be really easy for them to improve that and reduce the increase the drops, increase the coins, whatever the thing is, the reagent that you need to get it. I think they could actually improve it as opposed to.
That would improve the fun cap for us. That
'Cause-
would actually improve the interaction.
Yeah, and I
And
think
honestly, if Evony wanted to fix the bot problem, all right. I think my biggest issue with all of this, alts deleted, alts coming back, and it always it doesn't sit well with me,
lay it on us.
is they pick and choose. It is, if it's a rule and we're not allowed to have it, then everybody doesn't get it.
Yeah.
But you cannot say it's a rule and I'm going to punish you for it, but allow somebody else on C6 or C5 to get away with it.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the
What does he go?
inconsistency
Don't want
is
bots.
very frustrating.
If you don't want bots, clear the freaking bots.
Right. I
And
agree.
you know what?
Same with
It
the
might
same
hurt.
with the packs. Same with the packs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And the free
It,
stuff. The C6 server has free
Oh
stuff
yeah,
that we
it's
have
a
to pay
different.
that are in
I mean,
the
somebody,
packs.
It's a
Right.
different game there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
playing
And
a
Jake,
different game.
you
there is
brought
no
up a really good
fairness in this
point.
Hey
game.
guys, I just want to tell you, I just love that we've moved on to all the topics that aren't related to the alt system because we've solved that one. We're already on to the first monthly meeting. I love this.
I have just too much feelings. Too
Yeah,
much
no,
feelings.
it's good. This is really
Sorry,
good.
Well,
sorry.
no.
No. We've already solved the other ones, so no, I'm
Okay.
actually congratulating y'all.
When C5 came out, actually, I think it was C4. I had a chat with like my team, and I was like, guys, I already see where this is headed because I got a peek at somebody from C4 and their packs and all that stuff, and they had like bells and whistles. That was the first time I saw a triple down. I was like, what the hell? Wait, what the hell?
Well, the
That
first
used
thought
to
was,
be
oh, that's
that
nice.
used to be something that they gave in the first couple of years of the game, and every once in a while, I don't know what you would have to do or whatever, you would get one. And it was like a very sporadic, I think maybe year 3 or 4 or something, people would start getting them just as a random gift or something like that. Because
I
someone
was
in my
like,
alliance got it, and they were like, have you seen this? I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. So
where'd
I
you get
had a
that thing?
conversation with like my team, and I said, all right, I know you guys are going to think I'm nuts, but I'm not saying let's scrap our keeps, but I think we should start
Oh no,
us as a group on
that
a
did
brand new
happen.
server.
That did absolutely happen to people, different alliances. They
And I
left.
said this
Yeah.
out
It
on a
did.
call out loud to my team, and I was met with, "Are you fucking kidding me? No way!"
Do you know how much I've spent here? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not starting no one.
mortgage.
I sat back and I was like, guys, if we just started accounts, we don't even have to coin, or we can all just say we're gonna drop like $100
Yeah.
and see where it goes. And they were all like, no, LT, you're nuts. LT, have another drink, go away, shut up. Nobody wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
I said, fine. Guess what happened? About a year later, they all said, you were right. We should have done it. Now it's too late. And yeah, I was like, oh, right, yeah. So the fact that
What a great leader.
yeah, I know, right? Why would you listen to me? Fine, but no,
I'm
actually,
joking.
that solidified. No, Hefe, it solidified the fact that maybe we should listen to her every now and then.
See, that's what I meant. Like, now you've taught him a lesson.
So,
Yeah.
but now here we are. Flash forward another 2.5 years of my life gone. And now I'm looking at C6, waiting for C7 to open up, and I'm ready to bail on these funds. I'm ready to say, yes, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm heading out.
Wait till C8 opens up. We're all going.
Wait for the quad. They will release the quad.
Well, here's the
You
deal.
Go.
People are worried
Hefe,
they
you
don't.
said, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
let's
I'm
do it.
ready. I'm
We're-
packing my bag.
We're gonna start a new host server.
Okay.
But I think a lot of it could be fixed. I understand the concept of they want these new servers to catch up, but the problem with that is that they are not competing with our continent.
Right.
So
And
either
Right.
if you don't
they're
like,
saying we are dinosaurs.
yeah, well,
We compete with
Well, I'm
someone in
originally
Battlefield.
from
Go ahead,
I'm
Blaze.
originally
changed our
from
name.
19, and I had someone in All Stars, and they were asking what server, and this was before the merge to 190 with 190. The guy, I forgot who it was, but he goes, "Oh my God, you're like old school." I was like, "Okay,
Original. You're an OG for sure.
original, yeah, we're the original OG because we were 19 and."
So yeah, you're
It's
even
just-
you're even older than me. I was on 27, so my gosh, you're super old.
Wow.
All right. Now
I'm just a little older than you, just a little.
The same generation. We'll
Now
just
I-
call it
feel like a
Same
baby
generation.
in the 90s.
vintage.
Yeah, vintage.
Aged.
But
I
we
like
have
it.
to-
We're vintage. We're aged.
Yeah. Yeah.
we changed our name. We are now the power of dinos.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
you're
God!
not-
If you're not dinos, what are? Oh my goodness!
mm,
Blaze, you were trying to
My
jump in there. What did
attitude-
you want to say?
go ahead.
Well, I'm also in a smaller alliance, and we meet a lot of the new servers in Battlefield all the time. We meet like 1,175, and they're these tiny
Yeah.
10 billion cubes with like 3,000 buffs.
Yeah.
And we kept saying to people, like, you've got no idea what's going on in the new servers. You wait till you start meeting them in Battlefield. You cannot beat them.
That's right. And
And
the excuse they do say is that we don't, you know, they're in different continents, but in Battlefield, that's not the case.
yeah, so like he said, I mean, he said that all servers are different, but then they shouldn't match us up in Battlefield.
Right.
That's correct.
So,
And if you're
because
not
it's not
going
fair.
to, again, it's fair play. It's like if you want to contain it to, you know, continent to continent, I'm okay with
Yes.
that.
But I'll tell
I
you
am
what.
too,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what would happen if they did that, though, is you'd get so
We will
bored.
be dinosaurs.
Well,
We
you'd
will.
get so bored playing
Yeah.
the same
Yeah, exactly.
same
Yeah.
keeps
Oh,
all the time.
I
You need to
definitely believe
adapt.
that.
When you meet those guys, you need to adapt. And
Or just quit and
that's
go back to
kind of
bossing.
good.
You just become a
I've
frog.
actually never
Yeah, especially on Wednesdays.
Sorry. No, it's a good point though, Blaze. They either need to limit so those all those packs need to be equivalent. I agreed with that as well. I think we were talking about that as well, but it wasn't one of the things, but there needs to be some balance between those packs somehow, because it's crazy to see some of these keeps when they're so new.
I mean,
Well, I think they personally should give Continent 1 some retribution. You know, because when we used to...
You want a participation trophy
100%.
now? Come on.
Well,
Don't
we
even
need
go rich.
something. We need something because, like, the packs that they like right now, $100 pack. I mean, it's just insane compared to like 100 pack before was like you got 10 stamina. You know what I mean? Like it was nothing compared to the packs you get now.
Yeah.
It's just so. So I think Continent 1 should get a.
You want reparations?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, we should.
that's a
We
U.S.
should.
thing, but anyway, no, we don't want to get into that.
I definitely think Continent 1 should get something for that.
Or how about if Evony is tired of C1, then integrate us slowly with the other servers? Why is it always like C1 is merged with C1? Why not merge C1 with C3, C4?
Because then you'd match Blaze's alliance, small alliance, and you'd kill them all. So you wouldn't want that.
No, but I bet, or better yet, maybe it's not a whole, like, you can pick a team and say, okay, team A, you're now going to live here. Like, you just disperse us. Like, or bring in new blood, because getting, I got lucky because we got Cleo, and Cleo's team is active, but the rest that came with her, left something to be desired. But imagine merging people that actually want to play the game, that are active. That to me makes sense. Why are you merging? I don't know.
Well, because the mergers are to condense the continents. They're not designed to cross the continent lines. Because if a server is dying and there's only 1 or 2 active alliances on there, they're trying to pair them with another server that has 2 to 3 active alliances. So nobody has actually figured out the formula for the mergers and why they do what they do. Because some mergers are definitely significantly better than other mergers, but there's really no seeming method to the madness other than potentially the amount of coining that is or is not happening on a server, or the amount of active players that is or is not on a server. But if they started merging with cross continents, then that introduces a whole different can of worms that I don't know if Evony is capable of putting the lid back on.
No.
That's a fair point. I mean, the squirrels have done their best keeping their servers running. So.
No, you're absolutely right. I think they would have a lot of trouble. They need to keep it within the same continent, only because those environments have had the same amount of time in theory, and the same amount of packs and the same amount of things. If you integrate those, it would just be chaotic for one side or the other, I think.
I mean, it's a fair point. I mean,
Even learning how to play. I mean, you always have people that are moving continents to be the, the person that knows everything about the game already and zero everybody in initially and be the throne, king and all that stuff. But you wouldn't want to do that. Put a C1 team with a C6 team that just started their server. I think they would be demoralized pretty early.
Or we could grow them. Look at it as a
You got
growth
enough. You got enough
opportunity.
projects on your server. I bet already. We could find them for you.
You know, you have a. That's actually a very fair point. But
Yep, I was just thinking that. I'm like, yep, that's pretty accurate.
Well, we got some. We'll send you. No, it's good.
So Hefe, I had a question for you on
Yes, sir.
your spreadsheet, your Word document that you got there to loop back to the improving how they monitor / find cheaters. I guess one of the questions that needs to be proposed to CS on a dev call is, what do they define as cheating, and is it something that a modification of the terms of service will solve, or is it something that they themselves need to better define? Because I do agree with the conversation I had earlier of, it is not equal when it comes to who's getting wrist slapped versus who's getting banned entirely from the game. Sometimes it ultimately comes down to, if you have deep enough pockets, you can, sway Evony in your favor, i.e., Neo hitting hundreds of alts, and then he gets fruit wiped, but all of a sudden he's back up to 200 bill for. I mean, I'm just making up a facetious example here, but if you got enough money, you can sway CS in your favor because they don't want to lose your money.
Absolutely.
So what can be defined? Is it a TOS thing that needs to be more clearly defined, or is it because is running a BlueStacks instance really cheating? Maybe it's not. But that's what I'm saying, that those are the kinds of things that need to be defined on the next the dev, maybe not the next one, but a dev call in general, and really get clarification from them on what is and is not cheating. And the other side of it is, we've had, I can speak from personal experience, we've had instances where certain people plunder during SVS and they get a warning for hitting somebody who dropped their bubble on the other server. But then we have some people who have farmed, hundreds of billions of resources that don't get a warning. So it's like, what actually is the criteria for this? Because if there is a set guideline and you exceed that guideline, then you as the player are willingly taking that risk. But if we know what the guideline is and we stay within that guideline, we shouldn't have to be punished for it.
Right.
So I think just establishing, what are the left and right limits? Because you reach out to CS and you say, well, what is the limit that you can plunder? And they say, well, we can't disclose that. Why?
Right.
Why
You went
can't
over
you
it.
tell me what-
You went over
Exactly.
it. Try again next month.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think that even more pressing of an issue than the alts themselves is that Evony really needs to clarify what the left and right limits are, because then they can properly determine, okay, how do the alts need to be coded in a way that will flag CS if they exceed this limitation, or if somebody is using a cheating software to do code injection into the client side of the game, how does it identify?
Yep.
If there aren't those established guidelines, then we will never know as players.
Right.
So,
No,
yeah, I think that
go
goes
ahead,
back
Jake.
into definition.
Well, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, I saw you light up. Go ahead, LT.
This is girls.
I was
He
just
should
gonna
mute
say,
it.
I got him.
they should just, it's a real definition, a clear line definition of what your rules are. And if you're setting the rules, then you have to adhere to the rules. Adhere to the rules, not be vague about it.
Right.
You just say like, oh yeah, you were cheating, but I am not going to tell you how I think you were cheating. So let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah. No, that goes back to the wide net. Let's just ban as much as we can. Try to send a message. We don't really know what they're doing, but it looks bad. Somebody reported them. The resources was a lot. I'm sure they were cheating. I think Mako, your point's right. It's just we got to define those gutters and try to figure out what it is they're wanting us to stop doing, or how we can make it legit for everyone to do the same thing and get equal punishment if they're breaking the rules. And
Yeah, because
breaking
like if you as the player choose to willingly go outside of those limitations, then the current TOS is very vague. They just reference what is it, like 5.2.1 or whatever it is of using third-party software. Okay, well, what is third-party software to you? Is it not your game specifically? Is anything else considered third-party software? So it's
right.
I feel like we need clarification, and every time I personally have asked CS for clarification, they've always said we can't disclose that. So whatever that's supposed to mean.
Right.
But if you want to take the risk, that's on you.
And they're going to come back and say, well, it's because that CS person didn't know, and it's better training, whatever excuse. But we're at an opportunity now with these devs and these dev calls to actually drill down on some of these issues. And I actually think that could be another. We could do another session next week on that alone. What are we trying to solve with cracking down on cheating, and what is it?
Offer benefits to real players that are willing to be customer service. Let the players help people calling in. Like I thought that was a great idea. Having players who actually play the game be part of customer service. So when somebody calls and says, hey, I did this or this action, they'll know exactly what they're talking about.
I work for Pink Gems. Is that what you're gonna,
Well, so here's
Okay,
the question that I have for you, LT. I have a question for you, LT, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. What if, for example, I don't like Hefe, but I work for CS, and Hefe messages me, and I'm the one that interacts with that ticket, and I choose not to properly
address the issue,
handle that ticket? Yeah. Then what happens? Anybody that's on any Discord knows that there is always a pot to stir. Somebody's got a beef with somebody, somebody's got an issue with somebody. So I hear the argument 100% that having somebody who is knowledgeable about the game as a CS representative would be hugely helpful. But what does that truly look like, and what powers do or don't they have if we are even
I think you're right
proposing that to CS?
I think it could be a first brush at some of the tickets, or a type of ticket that people are going to create, a way to funnel things about game questions versus real problems. I think they could be funneled into people like that. I agree with both of you. It could be abused. It could just be, you're forwarding on tickets that aren't really needed to be dev doesn't need to waste on them, but you're trying to get somebody banned because you don't like their server or whatever. But yeah, there could, again, setting up a system that would be helpful for the community and also helpful for Evony, I think would be a good thing. How you do that, I don't know.
Anonymous, maybe.
Just come
Maybe you wouldn't know who
anonymously,
it was.
right?
Yeah.
You don't actually see who the player is, what their VIP is. You're just seeing the question, or hey, this happened.
Oh no, I'm only helping the big guys. Sorry.
Well, Hefe, do you remember you were on 27? I think maybe 2 years into when Evony started, they did have something like that where they were trying to recruit players. I don't know if you remember this. They're trying to recruit players that were playing on certain, like on whatever server you were on, and that they would monitor
world chat,
the chat that was going on. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah, there was something, and it never took hold. I think it's
right, and it just kind of.
I think it's like Mako saying. I think some of that just it was a power thing for some people. It just didn't get implemented right. But yeah, I do remember that.
I think if we can implement it right, it has positive applications.
Absolutely.
True, but it could be done by like an interview process. I mean, we've all had to interview for a position at a job, and you can only hide crazy for.
I'm a pretty good liar, so yeah. No, I think it absolutely could be implemented, and I think it would be effective. It's no different than having Discords out there that everybody and their brother gets on, and you got some moderators that are trying to help and answer questions. I mean, you have people already doing it in the community. It's like their Discord that they created and it just turned into a cesspool. If that was managed by a bunch of, dedicated users that actually understood the game, that would actually solve a lot of their CS problems, I think, in game. because a lot of it
Well,
would
isn't
get.
that what most games do? Is they have like for larger games, for example. So like I used to play a lot of Destiny. Like they have community managers
Mhm.
based on region, so they can answer regional specific questions due to
Absolutely.
language barriers or whatever the case may be. So I'm all for it being a legitimate employee of the company that is a community manager for the US, for the UK, for East Asia, and those sorts of things. But again, the implementation is going to be so difficult to figure out.
Yep. Well, I think all these things are going to take work on both sides, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this call. Was just, we got to think about it like they do. We got to think of the pitfalls so that we're prepared to look at the things they want to implement and give them feedback on them. Whether that's before they implement them or after, we just have to understand what it is we're really looking for. So,
Yeah.
I think just for a better
We just
gaming
want-
experience, aren't we? They just need to understand that we love the game, we want to play it, and we just want it to be the best it can be. And that might not by giving us a lot of free stuff to make us all whales, but just to make the battlefields better, to
Mhm.
just the aspects of the games that we really enjoy. And I think if they understood that, maybe they would
Yep.
be more willing to allow us to integrate more. But
yeah, it's in their benefit,
knows?
right? We've all said, we're gonna
yeah,
buy more stamina. We're gonna, do more things. We're gonna spend more time doing it and getting better, and being tempted to buy those things if they make the environment a place where we all want to be. So I mean that it's in their interest.
yeah. So it's just making
Yeah.
them understand that and see that we're not there for a list of demands because we want lots of things. It's kind of like we want it because we want to enjoy it as much as we have in the past. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Maybe,
Exactly. Because they definitely don't want us to quit.
yeah.
No,
And
no.
we don't want to quit because we can't quit because we're all addicts. So it's got
Well,
to be
what?
good.
I'm starting to itch right now. Yeah. No, and I think they're feeling it with this coining strike. We get through this event with nobody coining, we're gonna make a big splash, and hopefully they come to the table with some good solutions.
Hope so.
Well,
To
this is
answer your
the first
question,
time with
there
all the
wasn't-
coining strike that it seems like they're actually listening, because there wasn't calls with people on the other coin strikes. I think this one is
No, let's be
maybe
fair.
it's more organized.
We
or-
never organized like we are today. There's absolutely
I
no
don't
way
Yeah,
think-
to-
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is
I don't think there were
completely different. This is
9,000.
Yeah, definitely got to give credit
No.
to the people that put this together. The
absolutely.
100%.
NFT, the leaders of the Coin Strike group, they definitely took their communities and the communities abroad, all the continents, and really
Yep.
organizing and getting everyone together on the same page.
Yeah, and they continue to take a lot of time to do this stuff as well. So no, hats off to them and all the work they're doing. And it just was never organized like this before because it was a smaller group. I will say just the whole environment is bigger and it's impacting more people as they've grown the game.
so much more effective so far. It's so much more effective now than any other time before. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Give them a lot of credit for getting it as far as it has been.
Yep.
I mean, good for them.
Way easier in Discord than it is in line, I'll tell you that much.
Very
Oh,
true. Jesus.
No line, no line.
I hate Lime.
I know. I'm just happy we don't have to go in there for All Stars anymore. So.
I still had to do it for prelims.
Did you?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
We had
Oh,
to do
Jesus.
that. Hefe, ours was Discord though. We got lucky for one of the rounds.
We did. I think every one of my rounds I was on Discord, so this last one.
Had to go in one with
I'm
Waggy.
trying
Waggy.
desperately to
He's a cool guy.
start changing people or getting them interested in Discord, but some people are set in their ways.
Yeah.
Actually, what it is, and I can understand this, Discord is not exactly user-friendly when you first jump in. It's not easy to figure out.
Are you calling me old?
And
Jeez.
You sound like a dinosaur.
yeah, exactly. Now who's the dinosaur?
no, but I'm saying I'm speaking for others, not necessarily myself. But when
Okay.
I open
go on.
up, when you open up Line App is a lot easier to navigate and figure out. But when you're first joining in Discord, it can be very daunting.
Yes.
You don't know, what am I supposed to click? How do I find a team?
Especially when I'm
someone said, join my
spamming
server.
memes every other sentence. That definitely looks confusing.
Yeah, how do you mute Hefe?
Yeah, I know. Seriously, who's this dumb shit who keeps putting these pictures up that move around? Yeah.
But I'm slowly trying to merge people over to Discord because at times we do need to mute people.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna second that, LT.
Actually, you've been on some of my calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. The good thing is I can mute myself. But yeah, you're right. There's sometimes you just want to be able to go mute.
Yep. Just
For
so you
sure.
can hear.
Well, I just want to be able to.
Three,
Yeah.
2, 1. Sorry.
Well, guys, this has been a good call. I appreciate everybody jumping on. I'm gonna probably have to hop off here, but I do appreciate you guys hopping on, giving your perspectives. It was cool to hear the ideas and go through the information. I think everybody brought a little bit of different flair to it, and I think this is the kind of thing that you're seeing on the Discord channel for the coining strike. There's a lot of we're focused really on the coining strike there, but there are ideas being bounced around over there. So I think eventually you'll start to see in polls and other things show up there that, other issues, bigger things that we need to address, I think are going to show up there. I'm guessing we'll have votes and, we'll have other agenda items and other demands that we'll go to the next meetings with. Those guys will present those. So this is the kind of thing I want to start doing on a regular basis. So hopefully us hoes can come up with some good ideas that we can put forward and do some of the prep work for those guys. So.
Oh yeah.
Cool. And Hefe finally had some girls on the call.
Oh yeah. What do you mean? They're flocking here. I think we have more girls than
Everyone
guys.
always say you always have just boys on the call, so you finally have some girls.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you got.
We didn't have time to talk.
Yeah.
These were only ladies talk today. I'm so mad.
See, Chris,
No,
Chris,
you're so happy.
you and I are
Right
just
here.
gonna have a private call together and we'll just talk and Jake can join and
the conversation
make a-
will
Let
be
you-
French.
Yeah.
You call it the
You don't have to worry
camping
about the
trip, bro?
girls not gonna.
we call it a sausage party then when it's just
Oh,
us
yeah.
dudes.
Send me an invite.
Oh,
brother.
wait. When is that? Can I join?
No,
I was about
see
to say, that
that.
sounds rather interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
now
here
we
we
all
go.
want to join.
There we
you can't
go.
say that. Now we all want to join.
No.
We'll stream it.
Don't be
Well,
Don't
now
worry.
I'm
Like-
hungry.
Boom, chicka bow wow. No, sorry.
All right, I'm gonna drop out.
Yeah,
for
thanks,
hosting this,
Jake.
Hefe.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do it again, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Hefe.
You bet. You
Thanks
guys
for having me.
appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna mute all of you so I don't have to listen to you. No, I'm gonna do a little closing here, so I'll let you guys go. Thanks for joining.
He's just
Thanks,
complacent
Hefe.
us
Yes.
anymore.
You good. Oh, lots of fun, guys. I really appreciate everybody that joined in. If those are out there listening and they want to join in, those calls can get a little bit hectic. As you saw, a lot of people got a lot of opinions and want to talk. Everybody did a nice job of letting people get their points across. I was trying to moderate some of that, but really exciting that there's so many good ideas and people are so passionate about what they're believing in. And honestly, the different experiences everyone's having on their servers, you had a wide group of people, big alliances there, smaller alliances, old players, new players. So a lot of fun to hear their perspectives. I would encourage you all, and I'm going to put it in the description for the CoinStrike Discord. I forgot to add that when I started here, but I'll add that after. Definitely go out there and get involved there and just, read a lot of the information they've got out there. They're doing a nice job of keeping that information up to date. Publishing, if there's a dev call, if there's more information that is coming out, you'll be able to see it there. So I'd encourage you to get out there and join that Discord. So once again, appreciate everybody joining in today. We had a lot of good discussions and we'll do it again. Don't forget to like and subscribe as usual. I appreciate everybody doing that. It helps out the channel. And we'll probably do this again next week. I think this was a good first start. And again, if you want to join that Discord, hit me up on Discord and I'll send you an invite. So anyway, I'm gonna tune out here and I'll see you on the next one.
Free zone. just wanna ball, making plays. Hit a crisscross, make a fall, win the game. Break his ankles, what you doing in my lane? Hit him with an alley-oop, now they screaming out my name. Let's do it. Take it to the hoop, push through it. Get to it. Showstopper, you the champ, let's do it. Moving state to state, I'ma show you how to play. I just want a ball, so just get up out my way. I just want it all, so right now you gotta wait. I just gotta call, cause it's money to be made. Ring so big, you can't even see my face. Ball it on the court, make them chase. Buzzer beater, shot clock, first place. Got them running plays like they running in a race.